Sonic Frontiers, an essential stepping stone in Sonic's return to the limelight, and whether you like it or not, this game's pretty cool. Sure, it's littered with bugs, physics problems, inconsistent animation quality, and yes, I was going to say pop-in, you can't talk about Frontiers without mentioning the pop-in. But all issues aside, Sonic's 35th anniversary has definitely been a weird one. While the Sonic social media pages have been going on their nostalgia trip, starting as recently as the last few years, to now where we see it all the way back where Sonic started, announcements and media-wise we are sitting in relative silence. And with relative silence or downtime with Sonic comes fans who go insane when the phrase patience gets tossed around for our beloved boy. But oddly enough, this time I'm kinda in the same boat. We're coming up on Sonic's actual 35th birthday, as June 23rd will mark the official 35th anniversary for the franchise. And conveniently, Sonic's birthday month lines up with a lengthy State of Play, Summer Games Fest, an Xbox Direct, a rumored Nintendo Direct, and a rumored Sonic Central. So we're getting something, right? Well, yes, of course we're getting something, but I'm not sure if this is the something that we were expecting, or hell, even wanted. Now for those who already know what we're getting, hope you enjoy your 35th anniversary celebration. But for those out of the loop, my last video I briefly mentioned leaks in regards to an Unleashed remaster for modern consoles, and while leaks for that specifically and a potential adventure collection have been rampant, nothing has prepared us for our anniversary Sonic title. Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition! 4 years after release, we're finally getting the finished Sonic game we've been waiting on! Well, as brutally realistic of a situation as that is, unfortunately the way we learned about this re-release was not at all in the way Sega or Sonic Team had intended for us, and there are very clear signs pointing to why this is. Now of course, this wouldn't be the first time a Sonic title like this got leaked early, as both Sonic Colors Ultimate and Sonic Origins Plus initially leaked from the French retailer So Gamely. But wouldn't it just be hilarious if it happened a third time? God damn it happened a third time. Yes, for the third time, this same French retailer has leaked listings for a Sonic title that 1. Hasn't been announced, and 2. Has little to no information whatsoever on it. But shortly after this leaked listing, Sonic Frontiers will receive a back-end update on Steam that not only changed the description of Sonic Frontiers' store page, but also resulted in a hefty but permanent price cut of over 30%, a discount that we've seen before with both Sonic Origins and Sonic Mania Plus before receiving new content. Now the pieces should be fitting into place, but once again, this is still just the beginning of this all but officially confirmed re-release, with the absolute plethora of presentations being put on by heavy hitters in the industry along with Summer Game Fest. Sonic's arrival is all but inevitable, and with the rumored Sonic Central happening sometime in June, we're definitely getting something, but there's no hints to what exactly is to come. Never mind that. The French have once again decided to bless us with more information in regards to Frontiers Definitive Edition, apparently coming in at a $50 retail price, a physical release for Switch 2, and a release date targeted for June 23rd, 2026, the same date that Sonic 1 released in North America for the Genesis exactly 35 years ago from that date. I think that with this date confirmed, coupled with the near radio silence from Sonic Team and Sega, it definitely leads me to believe that Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition was planned as a 35th surprise drop, with no expectation of just how much information on this game would leak. Of course, take all this information with a pinch of salt. Nothing's set in stone until there's some announcement or something like that. Of course, those Sonic Superstars received a price cut as well, leading some to believe that Sonic Superstars is getting an expansion or potentially a sequel, but I think that's a bit more far-fetched, as I feel like with all the news with Frontiers Definitive Edition, we'd hear something. Oh well, but a lot, and I mean a lot of fans are reasonably upset by this. The last 5 years of Sonic have been some of, if not the biggest years in his entire career. 3 blockbuster movies with number 4 on the way, mainline and spin-off titles that have improved on the year prior's efforts, and countless high-profile collaborations that shows Sega flexing just how big Sonic has become in the last half-decade. But for all of this to accumulate into what potentially might just be a Switch 2 upgrade for Sonic's 35th anniversary, I can definitely say I understand why fans are upset. Shattered Generations was our last big mainline title, and in the 2 years after Frontiers showed just how much Sonic Team had improved and responded to feedback, then jumped to 2025 with Crossroads release, it'd be fair to say that Sonic Team are taking their time with our next big title. And don't get me wrong, if our next title is half as ambitious as many are hoping, this extended development time will be absolutely worth it. But for an anniversary celebration after the craziest 5-year run of your career to just be a re-release of a game that came out 4 years ago is definitely underwhelming. I absolutely love Frontiers, don't get me wrong, but if this is what we're getting for 2026, it needs to be big enough or provide enough changes to warrant coming out for the 35th anniversary. At the minimum, I'd hope that since this is a definitive edition of Frontiers, they scrap a version for Xbox One, PS4 PS4 and Switch and stick exclusively to PC, Switch 2, Series S and X, and PS5. If definitive means how the game should have been on launch, we should expect enhanced visuals, fixed pop-in or better draw distance, and support for up to 4K 120 FPS on PS5 and Series X, and 1440p 60 FPS on the lower end of consoles in this current console generation. Frontiers during its beta or early stages of development that we've seen bits and pieces from had marginally better lighting, foliage, and visual effects over the full release, so at the minimum, it'd be nice to see the game get the actual modern facelift it deserves. Hopefully with this definitive edition it also brings smoother combat, better open zone physics, and better cyberspace physics and controls. While this is more focused on the physics and controls in cyberspace, as those are ass. But open zone controls so good. Just give a little tweak to cyberspace to make it more like open zone and we'll be good. If at all possible, make open zone a little bit more momentum based off the rip. No spin dash, no special moves, nothing. Sure, you can argue that the spin dash makes this possible, but one, that's extreme late game, and two, I don't know man, the spin dash just feels like how Frontier's movement should have felt off the rip. Snappy, responsive, but maybe not as floaty. And of course, to tie this whole package together would be a side story to either loop in a character like Shadow to the plot, or lead into the next Sonic title. But it'd be nice to give him his own moveset adjacent to Frontiers, and to explain his timeline crossing with the future leading to his appearance on Chaos Island. I feel like those would be the most realistic outcomes of the Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition, or at least I'd hope that we get something like that. There are more unrealistic outcomes like better animations, which would be nice but a big effort. New models or model edits, but they're already halfway through the year. It'd be weird to switch up the face of your marketing during the time the 35th celebration runs, or beta content, but if at the minimum the things I mentioned before are added, I'd be fine with that. Sure, it's disappointing we aren't getting something new, but if they're spending nearly as long as it feels on the next mainline entry in the Sonic series, I have high hopes it'll be worth the wait. Once again though, nothing is confirmed until officially revealed, so this could just be one elaborate troll in hopes to throw us off their path. But we'll see where that gets us, and hopefully something gets revealed, or we'll never hear the end of this. Hey everyone, post-recording and editing Joe here. It seems that my blissful optimism has once again bested me, as not only has there been more information come out for Frontiers Definitive Edition that still has yet to be announced, but also more information that confirms details that have been speculated since its initial leak. Bill Kuhn, the source of this new information, stated that it's a complete edition with all updates, DLC, and improvements added. The Switch 2 edition gets upgraded graphics, performance, and load times compared to the Switch 1 version, but it still isn't confirmed whether this is a Switch 2 exclusive or a multi-platform release. So why not call it a Switch 2 edition? It doesn't seem like there's much in regards to additional content that would make it a said definitive edition, but I don't make decisions around these parts. They've already got the $50 asking price on reserve on my wallet, so that definitely makes me part of the problem. Anyways, if you watch this far, I appreciate you. Drop a like and maybe subscribe if you haven't already, because you know the moment something gets announced, I'll be all over that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all hopefully very soon.